Well, now I'm gonna be one of the few besides Boomslayer who does wrestling with any commentaries. Anyway, my subject today is one of his inspirations, Zane, the guy behind the show Wrestling Wregret. The specific video is from his promotion Graveyard series, the one of American Wrestling Federation. I found a surprising amount of flaws in it, so let's get driving, shall we?
Hola, abuelito.
¿Quién eres tú?
Soy Heidi, tu nieta.
The American Wrestling Federation was a short-lived league that ran on syndicated television from 1995 to 1996. It was last seen on this channel as the mismatched B-roll on WWE Unauthorized. The AWF took a rogues gallery of former stars from the glory days with some new blood sprinkled in and redefined mediocrity in professional wrestling. They tried to pass the company off as different and innovative, but all it did was make fans pine for the familiar and complacent.
As if that's a good thing. Backfires on it, doesn't it?
The tapings were always jam-packed full of people, usually homeless people who are only there under the promise of free food, but hey, people nonetheless.
You know that's just a rumor, right? There's no actual evidence behind it, only people saying it.
The backstage interviewer was Ken Resnick, who would later be joined by a woman named Chris E. I'm almost certain she wasn't actually a woman, but rather a $10 million marketing stunt by a robotics company.
We've got an exciting hour lined up. Tito Santana, our champion, will be wrestling, as well as gentleman Chris Adams. Jeff Gaylord and the Warlord are quite a powerful tag team. What a tremendous victory for the powerful tag team of Conan 2000 and gentleman Chris Adams.
See, I stopped doing the nostalgic critic S4 column with jokes. There is the human impact, this may already be part of the joke already.
She can take dictation from me anytime.
Ugh.
Is that pun seriously new to you? Men have been making that for years by the time the show came out.
And if there's one thing I've learned from watching lots of AWF matches, I can tell you, the round system really sucks.
Spoilers, he contradicts his later.
The top babyface in this federation was Tito Santana. Here he is in the first episode of the AWF, receiving an ovation as if he were Hulk Hogan, the second coming of Jesus Christ, and a triple cheeseburger all rolled into one.
You do know all of Hogan's faces, right? And Jesus, aka Gastrophobia for that matter, even the bottom up.
The round system, the entire linchpin of the AWF, is a completely unnecessary gimmick. Smoke and mirrors to distract the fans from this cheap and boring nostalgia fest. What's the point of all this?
Nostalgia. You just said that.
And I've seen the wrestling industry change dramatically, and I wanted to bring it back to the roots of its sport.
Ah, there it is, bringing wrestling back to its roots. That old chestnut you've heard forever and a day. The UWF promised its fans the same thing back when they were around, and I've worked for tons of federations over the years whose mission statement was some variation of that line. Okay. Enlighten me. Which roots are you talking about? The golden era of the 80s? The territory days of the 70s? Gorgeous George? The Carney days? The days where wrestlers wore sheepskin trunks? Or maybe nothing at all? After all the evolution that the wrestling business has gone through in the last century alone, just whose roots are you trying to get back to?
He's referring to my wrestling how become at this point, kayfabe and all. This was after the 80s, Zane. Your point is irrelevant.
The roster was made up of aging wrestlers who, though they're considered legends today, were almost never huge draws in their prime. Almost nobody knew how to make the round system an effective storytelling tool.
Not on wrestling fans before hate newer stuff. That's common sense for old fan-outs for stupid fuck. See the rest of the video as he makes a few valid points and also usual thumbs up and such thing. Your video saying was a very flawed experience. It comes as a bit of a student intellectual with the limited knowledge of things. Rethink your scripts so you can get rid of as many faults as possible and recheck what you've read so you don't fall prey to unproven info. Until next time, if ever.